Now, returning to our top story this morning, a manhunt is underway following the killing of free speech champion Charlie Kirk.
Yes, the conservative political activist and co-founder of Turning Point USA was shot dead at an event at Utah Valley University.
Now, there's, of course, been an outpouring of condemnation and support for Charlie Kirk, as President Donald Trump has called it a dark day for America.
Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace.
Well, experts in America are calling it a nation on edge and warning of a vicious spiral in political violence.
Well, two people who were considered suspects in the shooting have now been released as the ongoing investigation continues.
Well, we are now joined by GBNews presenter Ben Leo, who is live from Washington. Ben, a very dark day for America and the world, but of course you met him, didn't you, Charlie Kirk, and interviewed him in London about the state, perhaps, of free speech in the UK. Let's take a listen to what you discussed with him.
The perception amongst American conservatives is that this is increasingly a conquered country and that there is not a firm opposition to try to bring Britain back to greatness.
Ben, how do you feel listening to that now?
I feel, look, on a personal level, I feel very sad for Charlie as a human being and not least as a father. He was a father beyond his political identity as a conservative titan, as an ally of President Donald Trump, who's always been credited with getting him elected by galvanising the youth vote here in America. I just feel desperately sad for his two young children. It was only on the 27th of July that Charlie Kirk posted on his social media feeds to 5-6 million followers, which is a testament, by the way, to how popular he was all around the world. He posted a beautiful clip of, he was on breakfast TV here in America, Fox News, and he brought his young daughter along, who was around 5 years old, maybe 4 years old, and she was live on air, and he had his daughter on his knee. And you could see on Charlie's face how much he adored and loved his little baby. He was beaming from ear to ear, and he simply captioned the video something like, "Stop partying, find love, get married, God bless, have a great Sunday." And for me, that just epitomised what Charlie was about. He was all about leaving a legacy, and boy, has Charlie left a legacy. So much sadness now over America at his death, not just from conservatives, I may add. I mean, again, testament to his profile and stature here. We've had tributes from all across the political spectrum. So from the likes of President Donald Trump, of course, the Vice President J.D. Vance, but also the likes of Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Gavin Newsom, and even in the House of Representatives yesterday in Congress, they did try and lead a minute's silence of prayer, but unfortunately, maybe which kind of personifies how volatile tensions are right now here in America, that attempted minute's silence turned into booing and a shouting match towards the end. There were pretty ugly scenes. But the tributes from all across the political spectrum, even quite controversially, if you were watching Patrick Christie's Tonight last night, Prime Minister Keir Starmer paying tribute to Charlie Kirk and talking about the need and the importance of free speech. Maybe that coming from the Prime Minister is a conversation for another time. But the big talking point this morning, after the horrific death of Charlie and the murder, the political assassination, is the gunman. The authorities here still don't know who committed this murder. He was fired at from around 200 yards away. Firearms experts were saying that the crack of the single round which penetrated Charlie's neck sounded like it came from a high-powered rifle, certainly not a pistol. That gunman, whoever they are, wherever they may be, is still on the loose, and you just seem to think as the time goes by, without many updates, without knowledge of where the gunman is, the FBI in the last 30 minutes or so saying that the gunman isn't on campus still at Utah Valley University, you would have thought that goes without saying. You just kind of think and assume and fear even that the longer this goes on, the harder it will be for the authorities to trace who committed this heinous murder.
And for the people that were there as well, Ben, I mean, at Utah Valley University, those that agreed with the thoughts of Charlie Kirk, those who didn't, because, of course, he would invite those who didn't agree with him to come to the very front of the queue, wouldn't he, and ask him questions and debate with them. And he'd always debate with them so politely as well. But I'm just thinking of those people that were in that crowd. And we also hear reports that potentially his family were there on campus with him, and how they must be feeling this morning.
Yeah, goodness me, they are unconfirmed reports, but it's suggested that Charlie's wife, Erica, his young daughter and young son were there in Utah for this event. And you're quite right, Ellie, this was what Charlie was about. It was his forte. It was sitting down and having a jovial conversation with people he agreed with, people he disagreed with. They'd come to the front of the queue, they'd talk things out, they'd share ideas. I mean, it's what we've all come to enjoy and love about democracy. It's the sharing of opinions and thoughts and perspectives, accepting when you're wrong, maybe learning something new. But unfortunately, what we saw last night was that they couldn't beat Charlie with words. They couldn't beat him in a debate. And quite chillingly, I was watching some videos last night of Charlie maybe 6 months ago talking about some of those on the radical left, on the extreme side of politics. And he was saying, these people are so violent, they are murderous. Make no mistake, they will come for me one day as well. And almost as if he predicted his own death, unfortunately, that's what happened last night. They simply couldn't beat him with ideas, and instead they used bullets.
But of course, Ben, this keeps on happening, doesn't it? Because in the wider political context, we had 2 assassination attempts on President Donald Trump. We've seen the Minnesota State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband attacks. We've seen, State Senator John Hoffman attacks and his wife, and an assault on Nancy Pelosi's husband. So across the political divide, there's a lot of political violence in America right now.
Yes, indeed, there is. I mean, we've had our own fair share in the UK as well. You've had Joe Cox, we had Sir David Amos. The list goes on over the years. The difference here, of course, is that guns are legal. There are guns all over America. It's, of course, going to ignite another gun violence debate. Some would argue it's guns don't kill people, people kill people. So, of course, the gun debate is going to be reignited as well. But Cameron, you're right. It's just testament to the volatile situation here with regards to politics. It's been so divisive, as, again, we've seen in the UK since around 2016. People are so passionate. But as President Trump said in his tribute from the Oval Office to Charlie Kirk last night, when you go around calling people Nazis and Hitler simply because they want to protect their borders, or they've got concerns about the safety of their children, or maybe they don't want their children exposed to gender ideology, you're getting into very, very dangerous territory, because as we saw yesterday with Charlie Kirk at Utah University, it takes one lunatic to take that on board and think, yeah, do you know what? I'm going to stop the next Hitler from rising to prominence here. I'm going to take him out. I'm going to murder him. All it takes is one person, and we see it time and time again.
OK. Ben Leo, thank you so much for joining us live from Washington, D.C.